Hey, is that my coffee? Flipping heck. Oh, hi, Java, Joe, Go Juice, Morning Jolt, Worm Dirt, which is what Eddie's drinking. Actually, it's in tea too. What am I talking about? Caffeine, of course. And in this Virtually Rick, how does this mysterious substance work? And what is it? Well, come with me. Let's get virtual. Now, time was that a cup of coffee at the diner was a rather weak and insipid affair, very low amounts of caffeine. But then big coffee chains came along and we started to drink a lot of it. Coffee consumption in the US went up by a massive 700% in only a few years. It's not untrue to say that caffeine is now probably America's most popular drug. And it is a drug. It's an alkaloid, a white bitter powder in its purest form, called trimethylxanthine. It's actually a psychoactive agent, a stimulant, something that affects your central nervous system. It's a mild diuretic too, which might explain why you need to head to the bathroom after chugging a couple of cups. It stimulates your brain functions in much the same way that some rather naughty drugs do, albeit in milder form. Let's talk now about nerve cells in your brain. Now look, I'm simplifying this massively here, but some of the cell receptors, represented by catcher's mitts, are looking out for a molecule called adenosine, something that helps with energy transfer and eventually helps our body to do things like sleep. But caffeine just happens to look a lot like adenosine, and so caffeine molecules bind with those nerve receptors here, and they're meant for adenosine, but in this case, they're capturing caffeine, and that causes increased activity. Parts of the brain notice this activity and then figure some kind of emergency must be happening. So hormones are released that tell the adrenal glands to get producing the fight or flight hormone epinephrine, or as we know it, adrenaline, and voila, rocket fuel, which might explain why it's consumed by over 80% of the people in the US. It has a lot of positive and negative impacts too, but far too many to discuss here. But how much is too much? Well, the FDA says 400 milligrams. That's about 4 or 5 cups of Joe. However, some people are more sensitive than others, and taking medication can also increase that sensitivity, so watch out. And you'll know if you get the jitters, insomnia, a headache, an upset tummy, or even a fast heart rate. In a small amount, it's okay, and some studies even point to it having protective effects from disease. But super large doses are also not a good idea. And finally, if it's a coffee or a tea and it says it's decaffeinated, well, that must mean that it doesn't contain caffeine, right? Well, no, actually. Decaf teas and coffees do have caffeine in them, just a lot less than normal. It's low, but if you don't want any caffeine at all, then don't drink them. But then if 80% of America did that, then we'd probably all stay in bed and wouldn't get very much done at all. There's an idea.